fellow beings. My name is Marah Berezowsky, and I am the head of global PR and virtual events at Genius Ventures, Inc. We work with many major brands like Verizon, Gensler, and Adidas. Imagine a future where distance is irrelevant. Thanks to technology, this is now possible, simply at the touch of a button. Welcome to the future of live events and conference. Let's go virtual at the VRAR Global Summit. You're probably wondering, where the heck are we? We're in my favorite social VR platform, Altspace VR. Today, I will be focusing on events in virtual reality, and what better way to talk VR than in VR? Because when it comes to the future of events, virtual, augmented, and mixed reality will be the norm for experiencing virtual events. By the end of this presentation, you'll be able to understand the benefits of integrating virtual events into your business, know the steps to maximize the impact of your virtual event, including valuable data collecting, prepare and future-proof your business using virtual events. Modern times call for modern solutions. The one thing we're all craving at the moment is connection, especially for those that are isolated alone. Social isolation might be the new normal, but that doesn't mean that you can't attend industry events, trade shows, and concerts. With so many people around the globe sheltering in place because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the one constant has been the unifying power of content and networking. With offline events transferring to the virtual world, brands can still connect with their consumers whilst experiencing the event from the safety of their couch. So, what will this mean for events after the COVID-19 pandemic ends? Well, we all know nothing will ever replace in-person events, but they will change. And matter of fact, the scope of future events is changing at this very moment, and virtual events is the solution for the foreseeable future. There are many different ways to experience virtual events. Before COVID happened, you probably hadn't heard of the term virtual events, but I can guarantee everyone watching this has attended a virtual event in the past years. If you've ever watched the Grammys or any other kind of award show or had a Zoom meeting for work, these are all forms of virtual events. So to give you a little backstory, I'll tell you how I ended up doing virtual events. So when COVID hit back in March, everything changed. Our business had to pivot fast and adapt to the times. As head of global PR, we had many scheduled conferences and panels for our CEO, Navjeet China, and President, Alfred Tering, coming up in the coming months. All of our current clients were calling us panicking and asking us what to do. So, as immersive technology solution providers, they asked us to create virtual worlds and to host virtual events for their businesses, converting their offline events online. So, instead of speaking at these events, we were asked to help create them virtually. Now, coming from an event background myself, I had almost 4 years experience working in the electronic music and events industry in Europe. And when proposed with this pivot for our business, I delved into all the research I could about virtual events, how they run, how they are created, managed, put together. And my conclusion led me to realize that they all share similar structure. Combining my knowledge of immersive technology and experience of offline events, we were able to pivot our business to accommodate virtual events for our clients. P.S. Stay tuned, as I will be sharing some exciting news at the end of this keynote. Although COVID jumpstarted the movement, it was inevitable that the shift to virtual events was going to happen at some point regardless. People who can't make it to events or trade shows, either due to finances, distance, or responsibilities, can now take part in these magical events from the comfort of their own home. It's hard to deny that coronavirus is having a serious impact on the world of live events. With virtual events, AR and VR can help your brand engage with your audience from the comfort of your own home, saving time and money on travel costs. being able to come together, even while we're self-isolating at home, is a powerful notion. So, why take your event virtual? Although many companies are scared of the idea of converting their offline events into the virtual world, there are actually a number of benefits which can be achieved in the digital realm where it would be impossible to obtain at in-person events, such as valuable data collection, such as AI technology and eye tracking. This is all done through the head-mounted display. Customized experiences through the collected data tracking, and building brand relationships between consumers and brands. Not to mention complete customization. Working in the music and events industry in Europe, I worked on a lot of big festivals such as Tomorrowland, Mysteryland, and Sensation. And I know the cost of production to get the stage up, to rent the land or venue, artists flying in, et cetera, et cetera. I know the amount of money and the amount of effort it takes to put in for a one-off event. In the virtual world, you can create your own production virtually. And then once you build the base foundation of it, you can just swap it in for all future events. So instead of spending a few €100,000 on a one-off event, you can invest a fraction of that into a virtual world, and then moving forward, a fraction of that cost to update it every time you have a new occurring event coming up. To give you a better idea of what this looks like, let's watch some examples. Here is an example of Verizon's 5G Lab conference, which was held a couple weeks back in AltSpace. You may find the environment familiar, as it is the same auditorium we are currently in now. It's easy to interact, to move around, to view the content, make friends, message others. We found these conferences excellent for networking and connecting with people. Next, we have an example of DJ Stopknox in AltSpace. So he is a bi-weekly famous DJ in AltSpace, playing house. This is one of the clubs it's held at. As you can see, the realism is quite good. The quality is very good. AltSpace has been really excellent in continuously updating their social VR platform. So as you can see, it looks very similar to a real club. Next is an example of educators in VR. They do weekly events in AltSpace, I believe every Tuesday. Highly recommend checking them out if you haven't already. A lot of good information. Not just if you're in education, but also for virtual events. Now, let's talk about transitioning your event into the virtual world. Let's face it, attending events around the world is exhausting. The time spent in travel, hotels, waiting in lines, and especially if you're attending a conference or trade show for work, you've got to be on your A game. And when you're jet-lagged, this isn't always realistic. Virtual events allow brands to engage with their audience like never before. In a post-COVID world, companies will be forced to look for a new paradigm in hosting and attending events. Travel, physical proximity, and health precautions have the world rethinking how to attend events. Virtual booths are an excellent way of optimizing your virtual event. Whether you're hosting or participating, virtual booths offer a unique one-on-one opportunity with consumers and brands, which allow for invaluable data collection and seamless transactions whilst remaining completely in the virtual world. It's important to remember that setting is everything during the adoption phase for your virtual event. For example, If you were to host a keynote on a beach, visitors wouldn't know where to go when they enter the venue virtual world. Although we would like to make the first event as unique and abstract as possible, it's important to remember during the adoption phase that we need to take the baby steps so people become used to the worlds and how to interact in the virtual information world. For future reference. Virtual events allow for full attention and absorption of the message you are delivering, with no distractions. When it comes to putting together and planning your virtual event, you need to first think about your team members. So a virtual events team is very similar to an offline events team. You'll need a registration greeter, a chat moderator, host, technical admin, and then, of course, depending on what kind of event, artists and performers, stage world manager, exhibitors, performers, keynote speakers, etc., etc. As you can see on this slide, the first steps to plan your virtual event, you'll need to consider which event type that is, which platform, and depending on those, the first two will depend on which kind of head-mounted display, and then, of course, as the latter slide, a designated virtual events team. And as promised at the start of this keynote, for the special announcement, I'm super excited to share that we will be launching our first ever virtual event titled HR Global Summit at the end of July. Stay tuned to our socials, the Genius Ventures social channels, for upcoming news, ticket info, and much more. Now, I don't think that virtual events will ever replace face-to-face events, but I see the future of events as a hybrid of both the combination of immersive technology at offline events. Why? Because of the social distance era we are currently in, people will get used to using virtual events as the norm at home. So what does this look like? At offline events, there will be designated areas with headsets that allow visitors to experience the digital twin of the same concurring event simultaneously. As people continue to adapt their daily lives to the immersive technology world due to the remote work and social distancing, immersive technology will be the future of communication and events. Thank you for joining me today at the VRAR Global Summit. You can explore the full presentation and demo videos on our website. And if you'd like to contact me, you can reach me at my email or at geniusventuresinc.com. Thank you. I welcome any questions you may have.